Okay. Probably should post it somewhere. Actually, I don't even know what to post.
One thing I like about doing your show, Shane, is that there's no editing because the other one I have to clip 3 audio files together and sync them up,
Yep.
and then go through and cut out all the dead space where we're not talking. It's nice to just be able to sit down and do this and be done.
Yeah. That is the nice thing. All right. I'm not going to wait much longer here unless I don't even know where I would post the other thing. Let's just go with it. Since we're already, Anything else before we get started?
Yeah, I got all my stuff right here. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I looked up a list of the Zoom privacy issues and security issues. Most of them have been fixed, apparently. So
nice.
I read that it had to do with Windows, and I was like, well, that doesn't affect me then. So I don't.
There's, I know you said a Linux installation, but there are some Mac security loopholes that they use to do some installations that are the same that malware uses on the Mac. So, ooh,
nice.
Yay.
All right. I think we're good to go. Going to. I guess I need this. I need this to record though, quick. Oh, there's like too many things to remember. I swear.
Gotta be repping.
Test. Okay, looks good. All right. And in 3, 2, 1.
Tech Bees.
Hello and welcome back to Techies, the podcast about simplifying our lives one gadget at a time. This is episode number 94 for Sunday, April 5th, 2020. I'm Shane Maddox, as always, and today we have, from America's Next Top Podcaster, my original, my OG teammate from that show. We have Drew Burris joining us. Hello, Drew.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
It is going, I mean, all things considered, it's going pretty well with everything else, with everything that's been going on lately, but trying to make the best of it.
So we're socially distant, but we're still making communication happen. Reaching out,
forcing
talking.
it. In fact, I mean, what else am I going to be doing, right? And also joining us once again, we have Drew Wintermeyer. Just to make things confusing, that's right, we have 2 Drews today.
Hey, it's simple.
Dirty
You only have to
birds.
remember 2 names.
That's right.
2 names.
What's going on?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Shane?
You
How
know,
are you?
Just,
Not Tony.
Just yeah. Not Tony. Yeah, so we did have for a while we started the show with myself, Matt, and Tony, and then Matt dropped off like a couple years ago now. Tony recently decided he was gonna call it quits as well, so now I just gotta find 2 guests every time, really.
That's fantastic. It's
until
better this way.
until a permanent probably no not without Tony, no I would.
Do you have any drops of his squeak that you can put in here? Like Tony, when Tony would laugh sometimes, other Drew, he would produce this squeak noise with his throat.
He would
Involuntarily. It was pretty great.
It's true. How about this? Yeah, he really makes that noise. Although it's been a while.
That was it. That was the one. Fantastic.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some
News.
The Verge reports Zoom adds new security and privacy measures to prevent Zoom bombing. Passwords and waiting rooms will be turned on by default. And funny enough, today we decided to wind up using Zoom anyway for today, and that's hopefully going to I don't know, seem to be doing the best for us. So we had some issues with the other applications, but anyway. So Zoom initially wanted their low-level tiers as frictionless as possible, meaning, you know, they want people to get in right away. That was kind of the whole idea, at least during this whole pandemic and everything. I think that was a big part of, they wanted just people to get in right away and go, in order to kind of grow the application. But
Well, that makes sense. I mean, like, even the meditation group that I'm in is using this, and the people that run that are like mostly senior citizens. So like, they're all using it with no problem. So on that side, they're doing great.
yeah,
And I can't believe how fast Zoom went from being like, oh, let's Skype, let's FaceTime, to we got to get on this Zoom. We got to get on Zoom. We got to get on Zoom. I don't know what Zoom's the Zoom. I don't know what Zoom's PR campaign was to be the video chat group chat thing. I know that some enterprise users that have used it, but every school is using it. I heard about I was on Reddit today and I heard about a music appreciation group that just decided to use Zoom.
Nice.
It's
I don't know if it's the easy to remember name. I mean, I don't know what, because I hadn't heard about it either before all this, to be honest. So
I had used it like once or twice for business stuff.
mm-hmm.
I used it for podcasting the last 3 years, but but again, it was one of those things where who uses Zoom? And then in my day job, I do some IT consulting, and I one of my clients is a school, and all of a sudden here I am having to teach people how to use this program that is kind of obscure but not really obscure at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it's more of a corporate-y thing before now that.
Oh,
Yes.
you know, like I was doing some work on the Tulsi Gabbard campaign, and they were using this for their volunteer meetups. That's where I started using this.
Nice. Yeah, this was news to me. But apparently there was also this thing called Zoom bombing, which also was not aware of, but allowed uninvited guests to essentially post unwanted content. In some cases, you know, pornographic content.
They were dick pics for
Yeah.
sure.
So the way that Zoom operates, for simplicity's sake, is that every person that starts a Zoom meeting has a unique Zoom identifier. It's your room code.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you just create a new meeting, it's the same room code no matter what. Same room code, same password. So if you've ever connected to that person before, or if you just know what the room code is, let's say you're a student and you get that in an email from a teacher, and then you get on another device and put in a name like Ben Dover, which is legitimately a complaint I got from a client this week, who had a Ben, like the oldest in the book coming back out, and you could just connect with no issue. And because you have to enable waiting room stuff, you have to enable password stuff, and all that stuff I think was in the paid tier, I want to say. But yeah, so you could just get in and get access to the meeting no matter what. And well, they're squashing that apparently.
Yeah. So, well, according to the article, it said starting today, but I think Drew B, I think you noticed that maybe this was already happening.
Yeah, I was doing a stream last night, and I was waiting on people to join this Zoom call, and I'm like, where are these guys? Where are these guys? Come on. And I just realized I had to actually let them into the call because that change had happened.
Yeah, it's weird. I was in a
Wide
Zoom
update.
I was in a Zoom meeting last night as well, and it didn't even ask for my password yesterday, so I was a little confused about that, but maybe they were rolling it out slowly or something.
I mean, it's something that they may be able to do on the back end, just
Yeah.
changing how the meetings themselves operate. Don't have to make any change to the software itself. I don't know. That's
So passwords and waiting rooms are what are going to be turned on, or are being turned on by default now for their free basic and single pro accounts. And the thing is, yeah, it's not exactly simplifying, you know, that's the whole thing of the show here, the motif, simplifying people's lives. But But having the added security in the long term will probably do just that, with even adding a little bit of friction along the way. So yeah,
One gadget at a time.
exactly. Thank you, Drew. One thing that I was a little bit confused, that it was a little bit unclear in the article, is they also talked about how it was actually previously turned on by default for new meetings, but that they were also, or I should say that the required passwords were, which kind of sounded contradictory to me. But now that they were also allowing previously scheduled meetings as well, having that turn on by default, that was a little unclear in the article.
There's a way that you can include the password just automatically in the link that you send to people, which is primarily how I was using Zoom. So it's already put in.
Okay, that
So
explains.
it's like in the URL.
It was somehow buried in the link. I haven't actually
That's-
dissected one of those
Yeah, sure.
those links to find out. But
Gotcha.
Right on.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Cool. Gotcha. And then obviously it sounds like the waiting room is new though, and as far as making that a default. But so another thing, apparently the Zoom bombing could have legal consequences. They're finding out now at this point. So yet to be seen whether or not that ends up.
so
happening.
look out, bend over. They're coming for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's probably the least likely offender, but we shall see.
That's really funny because, like, one of my backup emails is Weed Lord Vegeta.
Nice.
Apparently, the way that the Zoom bombing was happening is if you were involved in this, let's say, high level corporate thing, and then you just snuck into the meeting and recorded it on your own, that you might get access to corporate secrets that they weren't being super careful with, and blah 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 blah.
Oh, for
Because
sure,
so many
that stuff's
companies
going on.
are doing that, and that's probably what they're talking about. Not the kid who decides to post a porn pic in his AP English class, but
Right.
you know, we'll see.
Well, I mean, that's like, I don't know, that's bad because it gets into kids and pornography, and that's not good either.
That is, yes, that's true.
But then, like, with all this working at home stuff, like, if you think about it, Alexa's listening into all your work meetings too, so you should probably unplug that. Probably.
I've lost count on how many TIFUs on Reddit there have been about people accidentally showing up to Zoom meetings just naked or with a weird
naked.
or with a weird like funny background image that they put on
Yeah.
that they just forgot to change before they're really important.
I have been having way too much fun with that feature, let me tell you, because last night, I mean, I've gone from having a smiling Nick Cage in the background atop the Windows XP hill to the most recent one I did was a big Shark Tank like background, 2 hours of sharks swimming behind me. That was pretty fun last night. But so
I saw one kid set his background as just him going so he could just walk away from the call and do
That's
something
hilarious.
else and pretend like he was there.
So yeah, so I guess there's another quote unquote tool out there that security research have developed that scrapes 100 non-password protected meetings in an hour. So the way they phrase that, yeah, that seems like it's like people getting ahead of it to sort of identify security holes. Is that kind of the idea, you think?
I guess I don't know. It's one of those things where all this stuff with Zoom, it was the big great thing, and then it was the big horrifying privacy concern,
Right.
and then it's all fine over the course of like 45 minutes.
Right. So I guess they
Here's
also
the thing, like, no one cares. Like, no one cares. Like, passwords are super hackable. Like, no one was gonna stop using Zoom.
I saw
They were just
reports
gonna
of,
keep marching, like, whatever, steal my data, I don't care. It's already out there. It's fine. Equifax already happened. Like, I don't care.
one school district in the country I saw had a problem with Zoom and was going to switch to something else, but no one else has had any plans to do that.
Well,
far
good
as
luck
I'm
for
concerned.
them, 'cause everyone's going to be confused.
Yeah, that's true. So they also are implementing a 90-day freeze on new features to focus on security as well. So it just seems like a good time to, better late than never, maybe in a way, but good that they're actually.
No, whatever we
Doing
used,
this.
whatever app was going to be number one, was going to have the most users, was going to get attacked like this. Like, it
That's
didn't
true.
matter.
That's very true. Yeah.
They're gonna
Unless, like,
find
you use
something.
something more hardened that was like a, Skype, but that, like, no one likes it.
Yeah.
We tried to use
It's like-
Skype tonight, and it was an awful experience. So-
Quality, yeah. I never really realized how bad it was until going from Discord then to
It's
Skype.
super bad. It's very not good.
Well, we got another one here for you. Mashable. According
Okay.
to Mashable, CDC shows you how to make a face mask in 45 seconds. And it's really, they're just reporting the video that I think the CDC, put out. But
Okay.
I found it useful. It's worth checking out. It is, well, I may as well just let you know here. This particular URL is mashable.com/video/CDC-face-mask-how-to. Go there if you want to know, or just go to the CDC website. And there's Drew with his already ready to go. Very nice. Is that
Sherry didn't do the 45 seconds. Sherry made these in a process of like 2 hours this afternoon. But
and
there we
then that's
oh, my
also
doctor
good.
mask is down in the car. I have a long snouted plague mask that I've been wearing around town.
Nice.
I typically wear this to cyber goth meetups, but I
Cool.
feel like I can be good
Cool.
for just around town now.
To those that can't see the video, that is a straight up gas mask. And you said you got that from the Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity after in 2016 they had a Donald Trump bug out bag that included packs of seeds, foreign money, I think a can of
They
beans
were
is in
ahead
there,
of the curve. man.
and a gas
Wow.
mask of all things. Who'd have thought that might be a thing we'd need? But
That's
Nice.
sad.
here we are.
So the video is put on by U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, who's doing the demonstration on there. And it's, I guess it's pretty important because they say could be up to 1 in 4 people don't show symptoms. So, more the reason to wear them out in public.
Well, that's the thing, right, man? Like,
Yeah.
until they start testing, like on a mass scale, the numbers mean nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, they put out like the death ratios and stuff like that, and it's like, well, you're only testing the people that show up at the hospital sick enough to get into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it could be. It
It's
could have already swept California, and we just don't have those numbers because we don't have the antibody testing out there to see if people already had it. So like the numbers are super deceptive, and our news is unfortunately run by like how many clicks and how many eyeballs they get on it. So it's a little sensationalized. New York's having a problem, and the bodies in the cooler trucks outside seem really creepy, but like. Also, you got to understand that those bodies are biohazards, and they can't just like say, "Here you go, funeral home," put some makeup on this and put it in the ground. So it's real fucked up. And sorry, Shane. I spoiled.
So much for live to hard drive. It's okay. Keep rolling. Keep it rolling.
It reminds
Okay.
me
But
right
you know
now.
what I mean?
of,
Like the number. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Chernobyl series where they're talking about the Geiger counters. Like, oh, the Geiger counter only registered this amount of radiation. As it turns out, that's as high as the Geiger counter could even go. So there's no way of knowing what it really was at the
Right.
time.
It's true. Just gotta make a note real quick.
And it'll be real messed up. Are you putting a timestamp of where my F bomb was?
Yes, about 16,
Fantastic.
20, something like that.
But like, yeah, that's the thing. Without good numbers, we can't really make a decision here. And it would be really messed up if like they come up with the antibody test and they start testing people and it's like, oh, like some states have already totally had this and we thought it was the flu. Like,
Mhm.
could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not like a pandemic because it does seem scary. And I'm not going to work. I mean, I'm working from home and I'm not leaving the building until they, figure something out. And I'm doing folding from home and, trying to help out, but,
It's one of those things where personally I am not directly affected by it yet. I know people who know people, but I don't know anyone that I know that has gotten sick yet. So it's still this kind of nebulous, how scared do I really need to be thing. but I'm also in Atlanta, which is one of the hotbeds, and could, mayor saying that the ICUs are already full. And
Well, and that affects you, like, if you get like don't cut a finger off on a bandsaw or something like that right now, because then you got to go to the hospital and get corona. Like,
so I've got 2 kids, and we're outside.
oh shit,
We're outside
Oh,
riding.
right there
another-
too. Shit.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That word's fine.
We're
This is
out.
why I'm not allowed on the show often.
And luckily we're in the burbs, so we can go outside our house and play in the yard, and we're luckily not stuck in an apartment building. And Lord, I feel terrible for people who are stuck inside their buildings. But my kids started doing something really dangerous, just jumping off of this thing, and I'm like, remember, you're not allowed to go to the hospital. You can't get hurt because we're not taking you. So good luck. And that didn't work. They still did whatever they're going to do. Luckily, they didn't get hurt. But, who knows what could happen with that.
That's true.
Just need to sedate them.
Well, and so another thing they brought up is how it can be spread by talking, which, I was at the grocery store a couple days ago, and I caught myself, like I should be behind the sort of plexiglass shield as I'm trying to talk to the cashier, but I'm also in front of the card reader, like I need to pay, and I feel like I should have made more of an effort to actually back up behind the thing, but next time, if, I stocked
It's in
up
the
pretty good
air.
this time, but
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, all of that is new stuff that they're speculating this week. That's something
yeah,
that prior
true.
to this week they didn't think it was something that could be spread by talking, that it could just be spread by coughing and sneezing and all of this. But I guess if you got like a real spitty talker person, that
So
could make a
I've
difference.
got a quote here, and just fair warning, I added the sick part in here, and I'm reading it aloud because it doesn't make sense. But it says CDC Director Robert Redfield told Stat News, quote, "It's not a decision to try to protect me from getting coronavirus. It's to help modify spreading, and there is scientific data to show that when you aerosolized virus through a cloth barrier, you have a reduction in the amount of virus that gets through the other side," end quote. And I think that was supposed to be when you aerosolize a virus or something along those lines. Something else I noticed tonight, an email came through from this custom t-shirt company called Custom Ink, that they're starting to ship cloth masks, I guess, with some of their material. So that's cool. Everybody doing their part, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Good times. Hey, Drew Tang. We'll
Yeah.
call you Drew Tang, I guess. Do you have some tips for us?
I do. Because this is techies. Is this an XP? I don't know. I'm going to show you some gadgets that are going to simplify your life.
Good.
Okay.
Wait, do we want this for the XP boost later? Do we want it there, or is this like a
I would love a sound intro if you have it for me. But, I don't have
just
to
for
have
this?
it. That's
Not offhand.
fine. Okay.
Wait.
So,
Hold on. Let's see. This is gonna sound really weird, but
Good. Yes, that is perfect.
Drew takes
That is
tips.
Exactly what I wanted. So, like, number one, like, they're not. I've heard that maybe it's not spread through touch anymore. It's spread through the air. So we're kind of changing that view. But like, they don't know anything. So we've been using these things. I'm showing it kind of poorly in the video feed, but it's a grabber. It gives you about 3 feet from anything you got to touch.
okay.
I practiced. I can get out of my building and in my car without physically making any touch to any surface,
Nice.
except for the floor. I can't float yet. So these are kind of fun. It seemed impractical at first, but like actually, like kind of works as a walking stick. And like if I gotta get something, I'm looking forward to being an old person. These are awesome. Also, it freaks the cat out. It's like it thinks I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, naturally. And where did you pick those up?
Those I got off of Amazon because I'm not leaving my house.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The next found this was really helpful when I was working on my computer. You don't really think of like needing a big old bike lock cutter.
Okay.
But I put in a second GPU so I could beat Shane at our folding at home competition. And I had this bracket that had a little metal piece here that wouldn't fit around my second graphic card. So I had to cut that out. And I tried to use just normal snips, and I'm a weakling. So I had to get one of these.
Oh yeah, that's not easy. That's some pretty thick metal. I think I may have
And then-
attempted that before.
Finally, I recommend it might not have any actual municipal properties whatsoever. This might just be fool's like tails, wives' tails, an old wives' tale. I've been putting tea tree oil on my beard because I'm not shaven, and
Okay.
it has some antibacterial properties.
Right
So,
on.
been
I
rubbing
like
that
that
in a
tea
little
tree
bit.
oil. I like the tea tree shampoo. You ever have that?
Yeah, I have that.
I use that too.
Very tingly. Anyway. On
So
that
those
note,
are just
Welcome to Techies. We're going to talk about tea tree oil shampoo.
why not? Well, thank you, Drew Tang. Appreciate
right.
that.
No problem, man.
You know
Joe,
what
did you
really
see the-
grinds my gears?
What really grinds your gears, Shane?
Well, hold on. Before you were going to say something else. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What, Shane?
Scroll wheels. All right? I mean, they got these on every mouse and trackball from here to Kentucky, you know, but and here's mine right here. My Logitech wireless Bluetooth dealie with the weird unnecessary tilting mechanism on the bottom, but anyway, scroll wheels, right? So you got these scroll wheels, but how come you can scroll vertically but not horizontally? What's the deal with that? Anybody else have this issue?
Not really.
Mine can do that. It like if you push it.
Well,
one
it
way or
does.
The other,
It
has
do-
a button
okay.
and it slides.
Yes, technically it does do that, but that's terrible. That's a horrific experience.
When I'm doing stuff that I need to scroll horizontally, I just hit the shift key on my keyboard and my vertical scroll turns into a horizontal scroll.
I would prefer to never have to horizontal scroll. I hate it. Like I don't know like when that's ever cool.
I'm gonna have to try that actually. Now that you mention it, that seems a lot easier than what I'm trying to do right now. But
Yeah, audio editing taught me that one. The shift.
that's
I guess that's
scroll.
one. That is
Yeah.
one where you have to scroll horizontally.
what are you on a PC, Drew B?
I'm on a Mac. I'm a Mac guy.
Oh, really? Then it probably works. Crap. That's good to
Yeah.
know. I appreciate that tip.
And I see you got the Mighty Mouse on here. That thing sucked. The Mighty Mouse sucked. I hate the Mighty
Yeah,
Mouse.
so the Mighty Mouse, one of the few, really the only mouse I'm really, now I'm sure there's other ones out there. The only one that I've ever had that actually had a 3D scroll, but it was the tiny freaking dot, and I forgot to get it out here, but
So it was a mouse that had this tiny little ball on it. The problem with it was this little rubber ball that you would use your dirty human fingers on.
yeah, you have to
And
clean
eventually-
it constantly.
It would start. You could scroll one direction, but not scroll the other direction because it
Right.
would gunk up in there. But you couldn't take the ball out to clean out. Kind of like when you used to have the mice that actually had the balls on them before we
Right.
got the optical mice and all of that. You pop that thing out, you clean it out, you pop it back in, you're good to go. Couldn't do that. You could maybe take an alcohol swab or alcohol wipe and rub it in and get it all out. It's annoying.
The thing that worked best, and I know this from work from our Mac support team, was that the thing that worked the best was to just take the thing, tip it upside down on a pad of paper, and just do this with it until some of the lint would get out of there. That seemed good, but I mean the mouse, it was okay for that. I mean,
I will say I do like it more than this though. So maybe this is the
yes,
garbage
and that would be the Magic Mouse, and
Go in the trash.
I have both of those somewhere around here. In both of those cases, yes, you can scroll horizontally, technically, but also in both of those cases, you can't actually hit both. You can't have your fingers down on the mouse simultaneously to be able to left and right click independently of each other, which I found to be absolutely terrible when I was playing a game like Diablo 3 and I needed to be able to right and left click very quickly. It was not
For sure.
I ended up throwing that thing across the room at one point for that reason. It still works technically after I ended up super gluing like the black part back down on it, but
And who thought that this was a good idea?
yeah.
Like having it charged by lightning, great. Having it so that you can't actually use it while it's plugged in is the. I
is
like
that
Apple.
a newer
I'm an
one?
Apple guy.
I think mine
This-
mine was
You might have the AA battery one. This is the
I do, yeah.
newer one.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's well at any rate. Well, I'm gonna have to check on that. You said hold shift, right?
Yes. Oh, hang on. Somebody is maybe kicking me off of Zoom here. Hold on.
Okay.
Maybe not. Let's see. Keep going.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
back.
So, at any rate, I just wish that more of them would attempt to do like an actual trackball for the scroll. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't work for a lot of people.
Well, there is an MX Master 3 mouse by Logitech. The third iteration of that actually has a second scroll wheel on the side specifically for vertical scrolling
Gotcha.
or horizontal scrolling, whatever.
Drew 2 is not into that.
I don't like trackballs. I don't like that whole. No.
I've just gotten used to it over time, I guess. But I like it for like games like WoW or something when I need to rotate around my character. It just feels like more of a 3D experience. That's all I got.
I'm not good at games, so that's probably.
I'm not saying I'm good. I'm just
like I'm not even good at Stardew Valley, and like that really is that's like a turnip farming simulator.
You can get more than just turnips. I mean, that's your.
Oh,
that's
and,
your-
I mean, you can get deep into kale if you want. You can like, I mean, you can ride that wave for a bit.
I'm a berry guy, so you go from
Okay.
strawberries
Okay.
to cranberries to.
Now, do those grow like more like if you plant it once? I'm a big fan of the ones where you can plant at the beginning of the season and they just keep producing.
Yes, all the berries are a single plant, unless you get like some weeds that get in there or a meteor
then I
from
can have
outer
those little-
space.
Those little magic guys bounce around and collect them for me. I'm very, I don't know. Tried to get married. I couldn't like keep the wife happy in Stardew Valley. I think she's gonna leave me. It's a tough game, man. But like, yeah, no, you get me into WoW, and I'm just pretty much like, no.
well, I mean that's the thing about some Blizzard games like that where you maybe easy to get into, and but then when it comes to rating, that's a whole nother story.
I was really good at like StarCraft 2, but it's been a long time.
And I will also say, I don't use this mouse for gaming. This is on my
No.
production machine where I
Yeah.
don't need multiple.
That's the mouse that you
buttons.
bump occasionally to keep yourself from going AFK.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. All right. I suppose that's that's it. I don't know if that's much of a great complaint on. They never are they? I mean, that's the whole point. It's like
No,
it's like actual Peter Griffin here with the complaints, but
XP. Boost.
all right. Well, today this is again kind of an odd one. I mean, big surprise, right? I don't have much of it. I'll just read you once again because it's one of those SEO friendly products on Amazon. I'm gonna read the whole thing. Single serve coffee maker, 4K cup, pod, and ground coffee. Small size coffee machine, fast brewing, strength control, and self cleaning function by Kitchen, bro. It's Kitchen, bro, and I'm not making that up. I do have it here. It is in fact Kitchen, bro, but it's just the best name ever as far as I'm concerned. But the reason I wanted to get one of these things is I had a really old coffee maker, and I always kind of wanted a single serve one. And I briefly had a Keurig, yellow Keurig that was used, which in hindsight is probably bad. It seemed to. I tried cleaning the thing numerous times. It was not a good situation, but so I just wanted I wanted something new and clean, and also single serve because I'm a complete loner and always by myself. But
See, you like the single serve, don't you?
I like it because
Hate
I don't always need to do a whole pot, right? Is really what it
For
comes
half
down
a
to.
pot.
Yeah, there is that, but I just find this to be quicker, I guess. Overall, maybe. That's what I got. It seems quicker. Anyway, the other one I had, the old one, was pretty stained, and it seemed like inevitably dirty for that reason. I don't know if that's really the case, if it was, if there was a bacteria issue with that or anything like that. But I just wanted to be a little safer. Let's get something new. This isn't honestly the cheapest one out there. It is. It's still fairly inexpensive, and it's about right now currently on Amazon. It's about $50.
This is probably cheaper than most of the like Keurig brand ones.
Yes, exactly, the officially licensed ones. But so my personal, when I was looking to get one of these, my requirements were that I wanted it to be single serve, because I don't need a whole pot, but I see your point, Drew. At the same time, I needed to handle both K-cups and grounds, which I didn't know if that even existed for sure, but it sure does, because that's what this does. And so it has a basket for, I'm calling it a basket, that's just my terminology, for K-cups, as you might imagine. And it's got a basket and another basket, a mesh with a mesh filter built in, which I like. I like that this is a thing now, because like I don't need to worry about paper filters, obviously. For the grounds, and then it's got this other lid, which I thought this was kind of clever. This is kind of ingenious. That it's got a little indentation at the top so that the little, spike for the K-cups doesn't get, it doesn't pierce into that. So that's fun. It does have a separate button for each on the side. You've got your capsule, it says, and your grounds. 2 separate buttons. I don't exactly know why they have to be different, but there it is. The front here, the lid for those cups, it does lock. That locks into place, which you might imagine, and then it's just you just push up to push in and then up. Fairly straightforward. I needed it to be high capacity. Relatively, because I know that sounds contradictory, I realize as I'm saying it, but I just needed it to go up to my Yeti here, which is 20 ounces, and this one was as close. It says it can go do 14, but it just about fills this thing up if I take it up, because what it considers the max on this thing, it says 14 ounces, but I can give it another. I don't know if you can see that there, but the top left, basically I can fill it up all the way to the top. That gives me another, close to 6 ounces. So yeah, good stuff. That also has a little mesh at the bottom as well. I don't know why, but
keep gunk from getting in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well, that's good. That's another reason too. Like that. So let's see.
Sorry, are you recommending this coffee pot?
Pot? It's not a pot, Drew. It's a coffee maker. I am getting to that.
Okay.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't want to recommend it at least a little bit.
Probably true.
Yes. So then the reservoir, the lid for that swings open freely. That doesn't need to lock or anything, obviously.
Now back up. Did you say you have a special mug for this?
It's not for it. It just happened to already have a Yeti, whatever you call these things. Not thermos, obviously. It's a travel mug.
Okay. All right.
Did not come with this. I just happen to have that already.
Oh, it does not come with it.
Does not come with it. No.
Okay. So it's just by happenstance that they seem to match up.
As a matter of fact, and I'll get to that in a second here. Actually, no, I'll get to that right now. It does just barely fit it, and I have to be there's still some coffee in here, but it does just barely. I do have to kind of give it a little, because it's got the little spout at the top. I have to tilt it a little bit to fit under there, but it does just make it. And yeah, so that was something I had to make sure when I was looking at the measurements that that this would actually fit under there, in fact. And there are some others also out there on Amazon specifically that are they're maybe a bit taller. Could probably fit taller mugs potentially, but I use this thing for everything. So, and I thought I had a pretty slim form factor, fair, much slimmer than other ones out there, but still, again, there's specifically a stainless steel one on Amazon that it seemed I almost ended up getting that one because it looked real thin, but ultimately I ended up liking the look of this one a little better. Let's see. So some of the additional perks that I thought were kind of neat about this one were that it has a self-cleaning functionality, which honestly I've yet to use. But the way that works is you supposedly just hold in both these buttons at once. Yeah, I mean, how much is it going to do? I don't know, but
No.
it's better. It's probably better than what most can do, right? In terms of any sort of self-cleaning. Go ahead.
I mean, just like brew a pot of vinegar like everyone else does.
Yes,
once in a
there's
while.
that, of course. But
I mean, I don't know. I drink tea, so like I've got a kettle,
Uh-huh.
and I mostly use the microwave. I mean, like honestly.
I don't drink coffee either. So.
Well, that's okay. In fact, you're probably better off because coffee is I don't know. It's a hell of a drug. So
Yeah, I mean, it's better than cigarettes, Shane.
that's
Good job.
true. Yes, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and like I said, the aesthetic I think was a part of it. I don't know. You might hate it, but I like it. I think it looks cool. It's a cool red.
Do they have anything else in the Kitchen Bro line that caught your eyes? You're like,
Sounds hilarious.
Wait,
to
is
say,
it called Kitchen Bro?
but- Yes,
Kitchen
that's
Bro?
what I was saying. It's
For
kitchen, bro.
bros?
Kitchen, bro.
That's awful.
It's terrible. I'm
That's-
not, but at the same time, hilarious. So
Let's market this to like the people that are not gonna pay for it.
I mean, obviously it's going off of KitchenAid, right? Like the KitchenAid mixers,
you'd
because it
think,
looks
right?
kind of like one of those things, but
Sure.
it's your Kitchen Bro.
and it works. Other boring miscellaneous stuff is the metal grill and tray. You get with every one of them, which is one more thing to clean, but it's removable from the bottom part. So at any rate, this bad boy again is, I'm just gonna say $50 on Amazon. But you know what? I'm gonna give this guy a 5 out of 5 stars because
Hey,
Okay. All right. I was not expecting.
So the one thing though, and Drew B pointed out before the show that
Wait, you prepped this bit?
no.
I mean, I just looked at the doc and was talking to him about it.
Okay.
There's no hidden gotcha moment about to happen.
Oh yeah.
I just want to make sure that like you didn't like put in an extra 30 minutes like on this particular item.
I did go to the Kitchen Bro. I picked up some stock. No, I mean, is that insider trading? If I knew we were going to talk about it on the show,
right. I don't know how that works.
no.
Oh yeah. So anyway, it sounds like maybe I hadn't really thought about it until you brought it up, but it might not brew the strongest coffee out there. It still seems good, and they do say you can. What's funny is on their Amazon page they say something along the lines of you can control the strength. But I think that just means put more coffee in the.
So yeah, that's that was my wife's biggest concern. She's a coffee drinker, and we have a Keurig.
Whoa,
and
whoa,
we
whoa! You brought your
Yeah.
wife in to talk
Hey.
about this.
Hey.
I am not as prepared as you guys.
She
Wow.
the reason she doesn't use a Keurig anymore is because the coffee was super weak with those little. But again, that was with the K-cup pods. I don't know if you've got the grounds in there, if that makes a difference.
Right.
Something I didn't know about the Kitchen Bro before now.
There is a max on this thing, by the way, on the grounds basket. It does say a max line like halfway through, and yeah, because it'll start overflowing.
If the max line is halfway through, why couldn't you just top that off? supercharge that thing.
It does start overflowing and that kind of stuff when you start doing that, I guess.
Cleans itself. What? I mean,
All right. Well, that's enough of that boring product. Hey, I think wow, we got through this actually relatively quickly for a change. That's okay. Let's see, what do we at here? Yeah, we're good. So hey, if you want to write into the show, leave us an email at techiespodcast@gmail.com. Lately recording, here the last week, not last week, 2 weeks ago. Trying to get back in the swing of things here, but we're just saying Sunday afternoons for now because that was like 3 o'clock, and obviously today was 7 Central Time. So I'm gonna remember to say that because I forgot to the last time to Drew be here, but since he's not on Central Time,
I'm Eastern Time, so it's.
And I hate when I do that, but
I've been in the house for 3 weeks. I don't know what day it is anymore.
we shut the doors on the 18th. So yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So our website is niceguynetwork.com/techies. I still don't know if iTunes is really a thing. Like they're phasing it out. But I'll just say go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating. I think that's what they've moved to at this point. Or just find us somewhere. If you could leave a rating somewhere where you can leave a rating, that'd be awesome. I think that would be just wonderful, and I would appreciate it very much if you would do that. So, let's start with Drew Burris. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on the Cosmic Crit podcast. That is a actual play podcast for the Starfinder game, which is basically like D&D, but in space. It's sci-fi stuff. It's really cool. We're in the middle of our third season of that. Just wrapped up the first book of that, which is really awesome. And we just relaunched the More You Nerd podcast. It took about a year off because of some things, but we are back. We are about 5 episodes in, and we are having a blast. You can find that at themoreyounerd.com and cosmiccrit.com for the other one, or just search for those things.
Awesome. And Drew Wintermeyer, what about you?
We're still doing Cadmus to Crisis. Not on a schedule like we discussed earlier, but we did put up a new episode last night. We're currently going through the Trial of Superman. That would be like about 2 years after the death of Superman in the 90s comics. So we're following the Leather Jacket Superboy through his adventures.
So Leather Jacket's back too. It's back.
I know, right? That's crazy. We'll get there by like 2040. But you know, it's a good time. We have fun.
Awesome.
Not safe for work.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Drews. You can find me. Well, you know what I'll say. You can find me at Shave Maddox on Twitter, and all the aforementioned things. But also, I'm just gonna. Can I make this public? Our team, Drew.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that.
What's up? We got to get more people. I would like to go outside again.
We're the Corona Conquerors. That's I'm sorry. Folding at Home. Is it foldingathome.com?
Yeah, I should explain that. We haven't really explained what that is.
Foldingathome.org. That's where you can help fold proteins. Fold them, which is a fancy term for like unraveling, right? Yes. Yeah. The proteins using your computer, using your CPU or your GPU, preferably your GPU, to run simulations to do so. Using its extra power or full-on power. In a lot of the cases, if I'm totally not using it, I'll just let it run most of the time, in fact.
But basically, it's doing research for the coronavirus. Right now, they're trying to figure out drug interactions, and so it's running simulations to see if there's any weak pockets on how it connects to the cells in our lungs. Is the simulations they're currently running. And
Folding's been around for a while, but they're focusing on coronavirus right now, right?
Yeah, they were going to try to make it work with, what is that, Berkeley app?
Boink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always approach that word with caution because I don't always know how to say it. Because the logo has like some like shapes in between the letters, and I'm just like, I don't know if it's supposed to be bionic or boink or whatever. But so they were trying to make it work with that at first, but then they like thought that platform was kind of not good for what they were trying to do, so they built their own in about, I think it was 2000. And so we have a team. Shane has a team. Shane came up with this. It was Shane's baby.
Yes, even though I'm
team number is 2457171, and you can either sign up and you can fold, or you can just check the stats of that team and you can see that I'm kicking Shane's ass.
Yes, he is. I haven't gone out and specifically bought a dual GPU or anything. However, it wouldn't help me.
And it looks. You should see the cable management that is not going on in my case right now. It is awesome. And also I have the GeForce, what is that? The 1050, and then I also have a AMD RX 570 in there. So it's like it's as mixed matched and Frankensteinish as it could possibly look.
Nice.
I have to put this back in there tonight because I had to take this bracket out to even fit them in there. And now I think it'll fit now that I cut that little square out.
Very nice. I wish something I confirmed is that Macs don't allow me to, like, I have Boot Camp and I'm able to go in there and it can recognize my GPU when I run it from there, but it will not recognize the GPU in Mac OS. And it's really frustrating. And I literally, this is going to sound bad, probably silly of me, but I wrote an email to Tim Cook last night.
Let me fold at home, Tim.
I know it's possible to get the GPUs to run because I saw that there was a Team Linux Mint and a Team Ubuntu as well. I was like, that's awesome. I can't for the life of me get my Open CL to work at all. So I ended up just having to reinstall Windows until they let me go outside again. And I'll be ditching that as soon as possible.
Well, good on you, Drew, for making that happen. I was going to also mention that back when Steady at Home was a thing, I think they briefly moved to the Boink system. I think they moved their software or whatever it was at the time. And so I was briefly running that even. This was years ago. But So this is the first time in a long time that I've been doing anything like this.
If you were using that client for SETI, because I was using that on a cell phone and a Raspberry Pi still up until the end of that project, and they're still kicking out a work unit every once in a while. But Rosetta at Home, which is on the Boink client, that is also doing research for COVID-19. So if you already have that set up, you could just turn that project on, and you're done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So join our team.
2457171.
Right on.
I kind of want to make a number station that just does that, like in Lost. You know.
Oh yeah, very good, very good. All right, well, thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew, for being on today's show.
5171.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, tech her easy.
Uno, cinco, uno, siete, uno. I don't know if that's right.
No.
Try
Because I
again.
think you said deuce.
Oh,
Or are you doing Italian? Or,
I don't know. I was just trying to do another language.
Nice.
Are
Good stuff.
we out? Are we still on?
Still on the live feed. Done with that.
Did we get any comments? Are there any comments out there?
I
Is Vocal
didn't
out there?
see any comments. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
See, I should have shared it out. Oh well.
So what are you guys doing tonight? What's your plan?
Eating some food. Probably streaming some. Well, I don't know about streaming. I'm sure I'll play some Hearthstone. It's like my ritual these days.
All right, I'll come on and beat you, like one game.
In Battlegrounds.
No, I can't. I don't.
That's
understand
all.
it. It
That's
doesn't
most
make
of what I
any
play
sense.
these days.
I'm not gonna do it. I played it once with you. I quit the game. I think we played like 3 turns and I just stopped.
Have you not played auto chess or any of those
is
types
that-
of games?
like when they had that chess mini game for that one
Yes.
quest?
I think so.
Played that.
League
I
has
just don't
one.
understand it. I don't want to learn it.
There's a little tutorial. I don't know. Yeah, you don't have
I've
to.
been
To-
running-
Tony
I've been
refuses to
running-
get into it too.
Paladin Murloc, and that's I just go on to troll people with that.
And for the record, you're playing wild, and
Yeah.
every time I play a wild deck with a standard deck now, I lose because there's cards that were very OP at the time that they don't have in the game anymore in standard. But so I should just build a wild deck, and then we can play it, and then see what happens.
There's like a Jabberwock
Jabberwocky, yeah.
deck that just is infuriating to me.
Yeah.
I haven't played Hearthstone in 2 years, and I have heard of the
Don't do it.
Jabberwocky deck. That now I'm gonna go upstairs and play Resident Evil 3 that
Nice.
I bought because I loved that game back in 1999, and I don't know why I did, but I like the new. It's fine.
I played.
And, just wait for Final Fantasy 7. To
Yeah,
come
no
out
kidding.
because-
I played through RE 1 and 2, and I never played 3. I played like the very beginning of Code Veronica.
What a weird game that is.
But I mean, Dreamcast, like those graphics were pretty sweet.
Oh, they were dope back in the day, but
I'm thinking about doing a let's play of Final Fantasy 9 because I've got
Nice.
I recently acquired this little box that'll let me record my RetroPie by just like it's a little box that sits in between it and the screen, and you just hit a button and it records 15-minute segments.
that makes it easy. Yeah, nice. I have my capture device here. I suppose this would be something I could.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
This one doesn't have a. What does have a button, but it doesn't really work. I don't think. I don't know how to get it to work. I have to manually do it usually through OBS anyway.
The only downside of the one I have is like if you want to like record audio with it, it needs a little audio jack thing, and all I have is this USB mic. So, but I wouldn't want to record while I was playing because it would be awful.
yeah, we're the stream I was on last night. I've got a buddy of mine who has never played the original Final Fantasy VII.
Oh wow!
So I'm taking him through it. He has no idea anything that happens in the game, including the big moments.
Neither do I. I don't.
Oh.
I've never played it either.
Not gonna
I
say
know
anything.
that retardedly big sword. I've
Yes.
played
And
like
the guy with the gun.
the most I've
arm.
interacted with those characters is in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was my era. I was in middle school and high school when those came out, so it's
I was a
just-
Final Fantasy VIII guy.
8 was great too.
One of my best friends is Final Fantasy VIII guy. He loves that game. I make fun of Final Fantasy VIII mostly because of him. I like the game. It's fine.
It's great. You mean?
I think it is one of the coolest style of any Final Fantasy game. The look of it is really good, and they just did the remastered edition that I picked up not that long ago, where they fixed all the character models. But I mean, the sad part of all that stuff is that they could have done so much more.
That's
But
what I
they-
hear.
But back in the 90s, they just hard drive space was too costly, so they just deleted stuff. They have none of the original files for any of this stuff.
What the frick? That is so weird. I have
So-
I still have 8 on PC somewhere.
But there are people that are doing like AI revamping of all the pre-rendered backgrounds to make them look better, and model swaps for better looking models and all of that stuff. And I'm glad that mods exist to do that kind of stuff. I just don't have the patience to get into any of that thing.
I just really like the music from 8 too, so that was like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got good music.
And I love the love story.
You're the best looking guy here.
Aw, thank you. That's all I got, man.
All right.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you,
Cool.
Shane.
It's fun. Had fun being here.
Glad you can make it. Appreciate
Nice
it.
to meet you, Drew. I'm glad I didn't have to memorize a new name. That's tough for me. I have a weird thing with names.
I was hesitant when I heard that there was going to be another Drew, but this worked out pretty good.
You know, both of us can exist in the podcasting landscape.
I feel like that's okay. Yeah. All right, man.